Hello, welcome Amateur Hour 3528. Just kidding, Amateur Hour number 39. Trent, hell of a title, hell of a start.
We've been doing this for a while, but not quite that long.
The creativity cogs in this machine are really starting to churn
We
out
are
content.
about to take off. I can feel it.
We're about to double the $40 in this account here. It's going to go crazy. I might be able to afford the deductible on my new glasses here.
I mean, last week when we had 20 people watching at one time. Whew.
Well, that was a thrill. I could barely hide my excitement.
It was crazy. And you know that money, it ain't getting any bigger because we never put the ad on our podcast anymore. So
yeah, we do that for the people.
Why bother them with a 20-second ad read?
Exactly. So, but no, we appreciate everyone that's been joining us live here, and like I said, it's way more enjoyable when we got people live, kind of ribbing us and chiming in with their takes and stuff. But I would say this we got to actually get a little serious, Trent, because we actually had some very big news coming out of the state of Iowa.
Huge.
Yeah, let me see if I can get it pulled up here. The Iowa State game is going from ESPNU. This is a Final Four matchup, man. It's going from ESPNU to ESPN Big Monday.
So now everybody can watch it
with Iowa. Yeah, exactly. Everyone can watch it on a big network that everyone has. Not it's not behind a second-rate streaming service. It's a paywall. Great model, by the way. Big historic moments like this deserve to be on the big stage, and definitely not
Big
on
Monday
Peacock.
on the Cock, Iowa State and Houston. Followed by
I think we might have mentioned
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. Oh no, that's CBS, man. That's gonna be Paramount. Don't be getting us in the bad terms with Peacock now. That'll be behind the office. Actually, the office would be too big for a sporting event. I'm trying to think what's like a second-rate show on the second-rate streaming. Superstore. That one feels bad. I actually kind of like Superstore, but you get what I'm getting at. But yeah, Iowa State turning out for Big Monday. That one is actually I'm pretty excited for it because, I mean, this is legitimately a second weekend matchup depending where we are. This could be a couple Final Four teams, and I don't want to get too big-headed with where we are because has Iowa State ever made a Final Four?
Yes, one time, I believe.
I wouldn't say this feels like the team that can, man. I wouldn't say we've choked some games. The funny thing is we only have 5 losses, man, and we've choked some games that I feel like we should have won. That we've only lost 5 times. This is the best start since 2001.
That was the year that
I mean
they won the Big 12 outright regular season championship then. That year.
Yeah. And it's just funny thinking it's like, oh my God, we should have won at least 2 more of these games. But you look at this team now, man, compared to let me pull up to who do we play in Orlando? Barely beating VCU, losing a lead to Virginia Tech, and losing a double-digit lead, like a 20-point lead to number 12, Texas A&M. And barely losing to them. This is a completely different team now, man. It is incredible how well they are syncing up these defensive just lineups. I don't know a lot about basketball, but I'm starting to learn these terms because I see every coach snapping their clipboard and screaming at the refs and us getting technical fouls.
Their defense, they get after you, which is the great equalizer in college basketball. But man, they put teams through hell, like 40 minutes. They don't like playing in Iowa State, I don't think, right now.
I hope no Hawkeye fans are listening to this potential compliment I give them, but is this when we play Iowa in football, I'm like, oh God, this is just the worst thing. I fucking hate it. Just imagine every basketball team that has to play us. Man.
Yeah, seeing how we enjoy it, and that's like their football fans. They enjoy that. So I understand now.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're the worst 10-win team.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Iowa State's guards are, between Gilbert, Lipsy, and Jones, like
Jones.
the three best guards, I think, maybe in the nation, like as a group. And their bigs are really, Hassan Ward, Rob Jones. Um, Man, Rob, I know we've talked about this before. The last couple of years, it's like he gets the ball and you're like, oh my God, what is he gonna do with it? And now he's like more under control, and he can make some post moves and make a shot or two. Before it's like he gets the ball and he's like, gotta get rid of this thing. It's like a grenade or a ticking time bomb. But yeah,
Hot potato, man.
no,
Get it out
he's
of here.
playing good too. So, and crazy on defense.
This might be one of the few years where I have seen us like usually we have one or the other. Maybe we have a couple bigs and we just didn't have the guard play. Typically, we have the guard play and we could never get anyone of size to
Hmm.
play. Excuse me. We finally have a decent rotation of big enough guys that can compete in the Big 12 here. So, and think
Yeah.
actually earlier this year, I think it was the Orlando tournament where we were talking about TJ's a great recruiter, but is he going to be a great enough coach? Man, he's got us to our best start. And there still have been some lumps, every year, but Matt Campbell's got his lumps not being able to win early
Yep.
in the year. So it's maybe that's just what we are. We're a team that can't compete in the beginning of the season because we're more of a developmental school. And throughout the year, they just start getting better. I mean, we're going to talk about them in a little bit because they've just had such a big win. But even the Iowa State women's, all freshmen, early
Hmm.
in the year, they hit their bumps, but they are still playing well. And then now they're beating teams, top 10 teams in Hilton.
Yeah. Look at like these good teams a lot of times that win the national championship. Like I say this about Kansas every year. Like, I don't know, they don't really that impress me that much. And then it's just like, okay, well, they're getting better. Okay, they're getting better. And like throughout the year, it's like, okay, they're gonna make a Final Four run.
Yeah.
It's like you play your
Yeah.
best basketball at the beginning or at the end of the year.
Just because I want to relive it one more time, but does that sound kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs there? I mean, they regular season
Yep.
awful. This is the year they're getting a little better towards the end of the year. Hey, they're sitting a wide receiver that just gives the ball to the other team. Seems like they're getting better now, and then
Yep.
playoffs happen, and boom.
Now, so I did look it up here. Iowa State, 1944. It's been 80 years now. It's a nice round number. Let's get one this year.
Hey, exactly right. Because you don't want to do that on year 81, man.
No.
You got to do it this year, or you
Yeah.
got to wait for 5 more years, get it to
Yeah.
85.
Yeah. Might as
Make
well
it
do
a
it
nice
now.
clean number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick Google
So
search. Cheryl could learn a thing or two.
now this guy on Twitter, it's not quite the trapezoid of excellence, I believe is what it's called.
Hmm.
But this Ryan Hammer on Twitter points out here are some of the teams that have kind of the best shot. It's turnover percentage versus turnover percentage against. So it's basically which teams are very volatile. Say that 5 times fast.
Hmm.
Compared to just because it's a positive Iowa State stat. So I got them all. Elite turnover margin. Which if you look at the top right, the two teams are Iowa State and Houston.
Yep.
Wonder why we have them on Big Monday, but yeah, I would say we're it's starting to get nationally recognized between the coaches that are crying every match to frustrated that we had the Cinci coach in a blender in
Oh
that
yeah.
in that last couple minutes there.
Yep.
He is just screaming at the ref, trying to figure out what the hell he's even supposed to do at that point, man.
Yep. Yeah. So this turnover percentage, I heard this on, I think it was on Williams and Bloom yesterday. Did you listen to them from yesterday?
I did not. Fill me in.
Do you know what percentage of opposing teams' offensive possessions Iowa State is turning them over for the whole year?
Okay, percentage.
Their percentage of
I'm
possessions
just
that are ending in turnovers.
12.5%.
26. Isn't that crazy? Every 4 times down the court, the opposing team is turning the ball over. That is crazy.
I was thinking like 12.5 seems low because that's 1 in 8. But to say like I was gonna say to say 20 at 1 out of 5 is crazy, and we're at 26%.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what was the stat going around Twitter on after the Cincy game? That was the 9th game where a team has
Yeah.
had more turnovers and field goals made.
Yeah, they had 25
Jesus.
turnovers
Yeah.
and 21 field goals.
That's incredible. I'm glad I didn't listen just so I could hear that stat from you, but I mean that's what. So again, this must be what Iowa football fans were sometimes because we go through scoring droughts a little bit as well. But
Yep.
like, we've gotten over that. Probably last year's basketball team was more like Iowa's football team.
Oh my
The last
God.
couple years where we just offensive droughts, but we had enough defense to get it done. This team is a little bit more. God, this is going to sound bad. Like not Michigan football, but it's got to be up there where an elite enough defense and it has enough offense where it doesn't have to worry about the defense absolutely clamping down. You know?
Yeah, I mean, last year it's like we're going on let's see, 9 minutes without a field goal. Can that be right? It's like, Jesus,
So-
we don't worry about that anymore.
A little bit of a long-winded story, but I went down to downtown Des Moines to watch the Iowa State game last year. Got down there cold as shit. It was the beginning. It was the first half. I gave it until the first half. Crowd wasn't getting much better, and we were stinking out loud. I left. From downtown Des Moines, where like near the Civic Center, walked about 6 blocks, got in my car, drove up, and I was halfway between Des Moines and Ankeny for the halftime, second half to start, and before we made our first basket. That's how long of droughts we're talking. Like this is in real time. In case you don't know me in real life or you see a picture of me online here talking, I'm not the slimmest of guys. I'm not the fastest of walkers to make that 6-block walk, let alone downtown crowded St. Patty's Day. So you're not like just streaming all green lights too. It took some time to get out of there, man.
Yeah. Brutal.
So, yeah, this has been. I mean, we got to see how this team ends, or this the season ends. But I mean, looking at our schedule here, Trent, just the last few games are versus Texas Tech. So we get Tech at home, at Houston for Big Monday here, and Tech will be this weekend this weekend in the morning. Then we get West Virginia home, Oklahoma number 25 home, at UCF versus BYU, or a BYU revenge game at home, and then at Kansas State, who we've already beat this year too.
Yep.
We couldn't have asked for a nicer schedule to end on compared to what the Big 12 was going to be, and compared to like, I think if you read that schedule, you'd think West Virginia would be up there, Kansas State would be up there, but BYU wouldn't, Oklahoma wouldn't, and it's kind of flipped around. But you couldn't ask for a nicer schedule other than at Houston. That will be tough.
Mm-hmm. I do like Iowa State's chances this weekend at home versus Texas Tech, and then on Saturday, and then you turn around real quick and play Houston on Monday. So what I like about that is Houston's going to have to prep for that defense in one day. So
you know what we're going to need to do?
Prep for their defense in one day.
Well, yeah, that too. Trap game. I think Tech has earned enough respect, even unranked, that they're not going to go like, you can't overlook this team. That's classic Iowa State of playing really fucking good ranked and then go, oh, we got Houston on Monday. We got it. And then I think we squeak by Texas Tech. We've been complaining the last few weeks if there's the one thing we don't like about this team, it's getting double-digit leads because of how tremendous our defense is, and then it's slowly dwindling away.
Yep.
And we play, if we're going to keep the Iowa equivalents up, Ferentz ball, where it's like, who cares if we win by 1 or 20? We won the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, as a fan, you're just like, yeah, but basketball is way different from football. At any point, 1 3-pointer shifts the momentum here.
Yeah,
you know,
be a lot cooler if you'd win by 20.
You know, we got spoiled with all those like 40-point victories versus the 350th ranked Linden Woods and stuff.
Yeah.
That only an 8-point win in the Big 12. I'm just so worried. It's like any team in this league can get hot for 3 minutes and all of a sudden you're down 4.
Yep.
You know. So, but yeah, it's. This is probably because I didn't watch a lot of or in depth 01 Jamal Tinsley. The even the UNC and Michigan State games that broke our heart. Like I think that was that the Sean May year that we lost to North Carolina.
The year that they won the national championship, I think they had Tyler Hansbrough and.
Okay, so maybe I was. Oh no, because they. Hold on, didn't North Carolina beat Illinois back in 04? I thought we played them in the tournament.
So Illinois, it might have been. Now, I'm thinking of when we beat North Carolina, the George Niang broken foot year with DeAndre Kane.
Okay, we're talking 2 different years.
Yeah.
I guess regardless, this is probably the first year where I've really, or these last few years are where I've watched super hard since Hoiberg, basically. This is easily the best overall team. Those Hoiberg teams could put up the points, but they were giving them up just as quickly. You're not going to win the tournament, and you're not in Iowa State's level. You're not going to Florida Gulf Coast it either and sneak up on someone. You're a big enough school with enough recent, success where they're going to take you seriously compared to, hey, this school that is literally on the beach and only shoots 3-pointers. Surely they won't beat us as a 15 seed wrong. Fucking loser to whoever that 2 seed like Georgetown that lost to a 15 seed. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah. Well, now 16s are beating 1, so it's fine.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So actually, you're 100% right. 15s beating 2 seeds is not that big of a deal. It happens about every other year.
Yep.
So every 15 over a 2 seed, not a big deal anymore. I think we can conclude that.
Yep.
But I'll be honest, in this next week before we record Texas Tech and Houston, if we just go 1-1, I want us to go 2-0, and I want us to be on top of the Big 12. If we just go 1-1 here, I'll be happy. But I can easily see 2-0, and I can easily see 0-2.
If Iowa State goes 2-0, though, takes care of business, first place in the Big 12 by themselves.
I was going to say, it is, you know what the crazy thing, and they're not even that far off, but it's Houston, Iowa State tied at first. Baylor, Texas Tech. Unranked Texas Tech is 7-4. They're tied for third, I guess it would be, in the conference. And then lowly Kansas at 5th. Would it shock me if Kansas started winning all their games and then won the conference at the end of it? Not really, but it's just funny thinking Kansas was this juggernaut, and now everyone has kind of in this new Big 12. I think everyone's ramped up. We know what the Power 2 is in football. Everyone knows if you're the best basketball program in the best conference, your recruiting is going to go through the roof.
Yep.
So. Yeah, man, I would say I think we've kind of patted ourselves on the back a lot on that. I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about Iowa State basketball here?
We can go women's.
That Ionis, geez, I'm terrible. It's sparked in my brain, but one of our guys it's another under 18 team. One of our newest recruits.
Okay,
I can't remember his name. Yeah, I'd say so. Great journalism here with, hey, that one guy, he's good.
Yeah.
What a great sum up of our newest recruit there. Jesus. But no, I would say if you do want to jump in with the women's, man, I would say I've been trying to get better. Hey, the of growing the game. I've been trying to watch more women's games just because, again, we've had enough success that I'll actually watch Bill Finley's teams. But yeah, they just upset number 7 Kansas State. Was it 96-93 in double overtime?
It was a 3-point game there. A double overtime, just a great game, just back and forth. Ton of lead changes in the second half in overtimes. And, is there any way that when Iowa State men's basketball gets fouled, they could sub in one of those girls to shoot free throws for them? Can we do that? They shot
I think there's a
between yeah, between the two teams, they shot over 90% from the free throw line. It's like step up, automatic 2 points.
That's why I couldn't get over, dude. I was watching that game. I was like, okay, we've made like 6 in a row. We're gonna miss 2, or we're gonna miss the and one. We're gonna miss the front end and one. Those girls couldn't have been more electric. And it wasn't even like very few of them were even touching rim. It was just swish,
Yeah.
swish, both sides swish. If there's one thing I absolutely love about the women's game, it's like, thank you for getting the free throws, the easiest ones. And think how exhausted those girls are playing in double overtime.
Mhm.
They've played a game and a half now, game on the line, clutch, and they're just nailing these fucking free throws, man.
Yep. Yeah, and you mentioned that I think her last name was Lee for Kansas State. She was great.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently she was supposed to be injured and not play. Typical Iowa State thing. Dudes, versus their football team has a broken leg, comes out, looks like a Heisman or something. That's typical Iowa State. And then here comes this girl for Kansas State, supposed to be injured, and then just drops 20 on you.
I would say, and she was just incredible, man. We were watching, and it's like, oh, we lost a double-digit lead, LOL. Remember the men's team? And I thought we were going to have it a couple times, and that Lee, man, I think it was the shot in the first overtime. Audi, she couldn't have guarded it any better. Both hands up, fully extended, perfect defense, and this girl just like whips around and Milans it and just fucking drills a turn away. I was like,
that was at the buzzer.
Yeah, at the buzzer.
Yeah,
too.
To tie it. Yeah.
That one I couldn't believe. Very,
Yep.
very, very clutch by her. But
yeah.
No, we had a couple 20-point scores. I mean, I don't know because right now I'm pulling up their record. They're 8-5 in the Big 12 women's. They're 4 games behind Oklahoma, 14-9 right now. We've got a little bit of a tough stretch at the end here. We're going to at number 5 Houston, or I'm sorry, at number 5 Texas. Sorry, at Houston, BYU at home, at Kansas State, revenge game for them, and then home versus Cincinnati. I mean, I don't know if any of those games are even really a gimme. I'm trying to see where Houston is. Okay, BYU, Houston are kind of towards bottom, same as Cinci, but we also have 2 top 10 ranked teams at the end here. So
yep.
I haven't looked overall where they would be in the women's bracket here, but I mean, this is the type of team I think if they can get to a tournament, they can shock a team or two, because I think everyone's going to look at they're starting 5 freshmen. These freshmen have been playing incredibly, and that Emily Ryan leading them all the way too.
Yep. It'd be pretty cool to see all of them stick around for a couple years, and they could be really good.
Yeah, I don't. We could probably have a more educated debate on this, if we took some time. But I wonder if there's ever been a better time to be a Cyclone fan overall, because we've had some ups and downs on both. Really any teams, mostly down in football if you think historically. But I mean, to have a well, I guess technically winning, a winning football team at 7-6. Having a top 10 basketball team, having a winning women's team, having a top, I believe I know they're for sure top 10. I think they're top 7. I think they're 7th right now in wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the
I think 4th in wrestling.
4th in wrestling. 4th in wrestling. Our baseball team's undefeated. I think this might be one of the best times to be a Cyclone fan.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll have to look up our softball team before we make an overall, but just an incredible run right now where there's not one like, well, during football, it's like, well, basketball's coming up. That was always the joke for fucking decades,
Yeah.
So, no, women's, I think I'm going to try and catch all their games the rest of the year, just because they're starting to hit their stride early in the year, when it's like when you hear 5 freshmen losing, it's like, well, yeah, it's 5 freshmen. But no, they've been playing well. I think the only other game I've really watched the full way was the loss to Iowa, and we were even leading in that game. and then some. Hold on, it was Kathleen. Oh, Caitlin Clark.
Who?
Then she went off and did her Caitlin Clark thing, and then pulled him out and won in that game.
Of course.
So, do we just get it over with now?
Let's get it over with.
Speaking. Behind the second-rate streaming service paywall, Caitlin Clark, all-time scoring. What's our podcast name? What's the
3,528 is what she needed, and she needed 8 points. She scored 49.
Oh, is the game over? Or
yeah, they won by like 6-17, I think. It was like 106 to 89. She had 49 points.
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, well, she had the first 8. She needed 8. She got the first 8.
She did it in the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh, and that shows where she's like mentally different than everyone, and kind of that, Kobe Mahomes. You have to have that type of athlete that I guarantee she's probably like punching lockers after that Nebraska loss because she didn't give a fuck about this record at this point. She knows of it, but it's more like we just fucking lost the game because I couldn't clutch up in the fourth quarter here versus Nebraska. Yep. Nebraska ball hits the first 8 points and 49 of the 106. Both of those are just incredible numbers, man.
Yeah. Well, she had 23 points in the first quarter.
Okay, do they have a box score of quarter to quarter? 23 of
well, she had
23 of the 33.
Yeah, and then I think at halftime she only had 27 or 28. I think she only scored like 5 or 6 points in the second quarter.
She only scored 5 points in the second quarter, and she took that personally, like Jordan did. And then she just got pissed in the second half. That's incredible. But no, good on her. I can't wait until I hope she's on national television when she breaks the all-time. You know what? I hope she. Sorry, let me get to the first point. I hope she's on that national television when she breaks the Pete Maravich record.
Yep.
Have you been seeing all these Kansas fans crying about the Lynette Wood, or it was their woman that has the all-time record, but because they didn't keep track of stats like until 1980, they could have easily kept track of that.
Yeah.
Until 1980s when they recognized it. So they have this woman who's like, she's the true number one. It's like, Caitlin Clark's at 3,500. She is probably halfway between beating the all-time record and your all-time record. Like, she's going to probably break it in 2 games. Like, congrats, you held it a little longer. I guess bring some attention to it. I'm sure they will on whatever broadcast she's on. But I mean, we're acting like she's not going to. If she stays another year, I mean, easily breaks 4,000. I mean, I don't even know how high of a number she could hit at that point.
Yeah, I'm looking up Pete Maravich right now just to see what she would need to beat that.
He had, my guess is 37.63.
36.67.
Oh, fuck me. So, what's she going to beat that in 2 games?
So what? Caitlin Clark has 35.69 right now.
Nice.
And then, all right. Dude, she's going to break it like next week.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I just think it's funny. It's like, we're talking about, congrats, she broke the. I'm sorry, I'm like downplaying that she's become the greatest scorer in women's history, but it's like, great, she broke this record. She's going to break the men's record next week, and I don't think other than us, I mean, we're the best sports podcast out there. I haven't heard anyone else talking about her beating the men's record. No. Pete Maravich, that's like an unbreakable, no one's ever heard of. They had that Detroit Mercer guy that was trying to break like the all-time record, and he had 5 years with 3-pointers. And they were mad because they didn't invite him to the CBI or some bullshit with a losing record.
Yeah. And Pete Maravich did it in 3 years.
He did it in 3 years, with no 3-point line. Yep. And this guy's bitching about 5 years with a 3-point line. but he was playing on a losing team. He wasn't playing a winning effort. He was playing his ball.
Yeah.
Everyone passed to me, and I'll make the baskets. Caitlin Clark's winning these games. They're top. I think they're going to be top 5 next week after
They're
I'm
fourth
sorry,
right now.
they're 4th with the loss to Nebraska. They dropped from 2 to
Yeah.
4, and I would say they still have 4 more games in just the regular season, let alone I think the Big Ten women's. They were probably going to have at least 3 games
Yep.
there, and then however far they can get into the tournament, which might be another 5-6 games. So,
Yep. And Caitlin Clark needs 99 points to pass Pete Maravich.
Think she can do that in 12 to 14 games?
I would hope so.
Maybe. Now the real question is, do we know what her official number is right now? Well, 8. So she's at.
Well, it's 35-69.
35-69. Sorry, can she break 4,000 points? Is guess what I was going to try and get to.
She'd probably have to score about 45 a game.
Well, you know my computer problems. I've clicked the calculator and it still hasn't opened yet. So 4,000 minus 3569, 431 points divided by what's that? Let's say 12. Let's be conservative if they don't go far in the tournament. She'd have to average 36 there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, if they need Caitlin to pull up some big games, I mean, they got to play at 14 Indiana. I think at the beginning of the year, our guess was Illinois for her breaking this record. So she even outpaced what we were thinking based on last year. But sorry, at 14 Illinois, or at 14 Indiana, home Illinois, at Minnesota, home for a revenge game versus number 2 Ohio State. They're going to need her to be the woman in 2 of those games minimum, I mean, and if you think in the Big Ten tournament, she's probably playing Indiana or Ohio State as well in that. So 4 games versus top competition, she might be going off. She might be breaking 4,000 points.
Yeah, could happen. Especially they make that if a deep run into the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Totally happen.
Well, I mean, they've got to have. I'm sorry, this is terrible, probably audio when we're looking it up here, but I wonder if what's the most points she's had in a season?
Oh,
because I'm wondering, because at this point, if she breaks the 4,000, that's an asinine number, averaging 1,000 points a season.
Yeah, I think was tonight her career high, 49. I don't think she's had a 50-point game in college.
You know what you want to know why she scored 49 points? It's because last week her teammate took the spotlight off her and scored 47 points, and everyone's like, "Hey, good for you! You have the Iowa Hawkeyes women's record." And Caitlin took it personally, and then she stole that record from her teammate. What a terrible teammate, stealing records from them. No, I mean it's funny, like to be able to do that. As much as I want to hate her, like that's incredible how much she's turned around. Where it's just like we hated her last year, and this year it's just like she's just done it for now 4 years. You know?
And if she breaks Pete Maravich's record here in the next week or two, I mean that record has stood for 54 years. So
is that a big deal if they break that long of a drought?
I would think so.
See, we're gonna have a real discussion in a week when she breaks, because she's got to break a men's record for it to bring more attention to her. I'm gonna call it right now. They're gonna force Stephen A. Smith to answer the question: who's the best college basketball player ever? Caitlin Clark or Pete Maravich? Or it's gonna be some stupid shit like that, And they're going to go insane that they have to compliment a woman about breaking a man's record. It's not Skip. Shannon, that record stood for 54 years. And then Unk's gonna get angry because I don't care, man, woman, draft. Pete Maravich is the best scorer. They're just gonna go bananas when she breaks this.
Yep.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it now. Of course it wouldn't just give me a number. It's giving me the points per game, and making me want to do math over here.
Yeah.
You get it. Caitlin Clark, amazing scorer. Stole her teammates' record right from underneath her a week later because she doesn't like her teammates.
Hope she enjoyed it.
If I want to be a true hater, like I've been seeing now that the Chiefs have won 3 of 5, everyone is saying I'm gonna pull Will Compton here, where he goes because last year she was winning with Cesano,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone goes, can she win without her? And now she's led them to top 4. I'm gonna say she's just a system point guard, and she can't win without Lisa Bluter's system.
Yeah, she's like Tom
If she
Brady
wasn't in, yeah,
without Bill Belichick,
Mahomes without
Andy Reid.
Mahomes without Andy Reid, and the other starting quarterback, Brock Purdy, Iowa State phenom.
Yeah,
Brock Purdy wouldn't be anything without Shanahan's system.
true.
So same thing.
Yeah.
I can't believe all of these athletes in my life are all system athletes. It's almost like good coaches game plan around their best athletes to have the best results.
It's crazy that like
weird.
these sports where there's multiple people on the court at the same time as a team.
Yeah.
That's weird. That
I'm gonna pull up a play in a scheme to get the best out of all my players.
Yeah.
Huh? What?
But I mean, Brock Purdy's biggest knock is, well, his teammates are too good. Okay.
Yeah. Every person, and this is just me being a hater from a time that I probably didn't even watch football, but all these haters that are saying this is bullshit that a quarterback like Brock Purdy, he doesn't get paid enough, so they overpay for all these good teammates. If you hate Brock Purdy right now, then you better have hated John Elway when he actually won a ring because he deferred payments so they could overpay everyone else and they circumvented the salary cap. That's the only reason that fucking fraud won any titles.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get at me because they are doing it legitimately, circumventing it by signing. By the way, we're not circumventing anything. He was the last pick in the draft, almost undrafted. Everyone had a chance in this kid.
Yep.
Too bad, so sad, Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, no, I would say honestly, I can't think of anything else I want to really get riled up about. You know, Caitlin Clark is kind of ending us on a good or bad note, depending on if you hate her. You know,
yeah, good for her.
Yeah, no, exactly. Good for her. We can.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to think about if we want to be the heel and dig into her. I don't know that. I don't want to. I don't want to see a black and gold shirt that says "Don't be like Homer Bryant," though. You know, like they made with the "Don't be like Cheryl" shirts.
Yeah.
Seems like they're very vindictive if you go too hard in the paint against Caitlin. So.
Well, I wonder if you hate on her, but you just do a quick Google search and like get facts straight.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, well, I would say we've kind of had some shitty audio and some shitty takes on here, but it's mostly because our computers are so slow, and we're just trying to research it real quick, so we're not like Cheryl.
Yes. You know? Yeah.
So and we were talking before about maybe I can put on my new glasses so you can really tell I'm actually doing research and I'm looking super hard and look old as shit when I do it too. So no, I would say we're in, and you know what, man, we're almost to. I know you'll probably say Masters is the best week in the year. For me, the best week in the year. I love football. Basketball is kind of second, third, depends on what sport you're talking about. There's nothing better than March Madness, man. I am so fucking pumped to watch the greatest tournament they've ever devised, where it's not like we talk about Power 2 in college football and everyone else is playing for third, you know, and there's a distinct blue chip ratios of Ohio States and Georgia's getting all their prospects. And then there's, you know, even the next level of good but not great, Iowa. And then you're starting to get to more developmental schools like Iowa State. Basketball is so, I just love that anyone can win any weekend, any game. You know, the Virginia versus Champlain, you know, from 50 years ago versus Wilt or whatever. Or no, Ralph Sampson, I think. Doesn't matter. But I would say, the best tournament they've ever made, 68 teams. Now that I'm even getting used to the play-ins, which I thought was kind of unnecessary, but a fun addition for the tournament. Now we can finally get to the best tournament I've ever seen created. So fucking just perfect. One and done. You know, you can tout about you won your regular season, your conference, but you got to go through the gauntlet of, you know, Purdue couldn't get through Fairleigh Dickinson. Kentucky couldn't get through St. Peter's. These programs that are funding their entire athletic department for years
Mm-hmm.
because they had one historic run. I'm so fucking pumped. I'm as the more I'm getting into this rant, the more I'm getting fucking pumped and ready for March Madness, man. I actually took 2 days off of work so I can
Oh,
catch all of the games
the
and not have to worry
the
about
first weekend, man, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, it's electric.
it. The bad thing is, you know what the bad thing is, man? It's for me, it sizzles out once it's like Elite Eight. It's like, okay, the teams are supposed to
It
be
ain't
here,
this
you
year
know?
though. You're still gonna
No,
be
yeah,
pumped.
once Otzelberger ball will be playing, I'll be more focused on the Elite Eight. But whenever Iowa State's out, it's just like, okay, I better who's my St. Peter's this
Mm-hmm.
year? Or actually, I don't even really have I don't pick a specific team. It's just more. Let's have all the chaos in. If my team can't win, let's see how many teams can get destroyed
Mm-hmm.
because of the underdog. You know.
Now you're talking about getting real pumped up for the first weekend and then kind of fizzles out after that. Do you know who else does that? Iowa fans.
Oh man, you're gonna you got to get that joke in there right at the end, the
Had to
little
go
uppercut
there.
there, man.
Yep. First
Oh, what a gut punch!
first weekend's awesome. Oh
Ooh, I
no.
like this one. Yeah, and then the Richmond Spiders come and bite you in the ass. I like this one. It's by Spence. Will Clark get a statue on their campus? I would think so. I think you need to put it right in front of Carver Hawkeye.
I agree.
Tear down if they have Dan Gable or Tom Brand statue. Tear it down. Caitlin Clark for life.
Mm-hmm.
CC4L. I'll make that like a what would Jesus do bracelet. I'll just CC4L.
Do they, after her last game in Carver Hawkeye, did they just retire her number right there after the game? Just hold the
Dude,
ceremony.
I love Iowa State, but don't pull fucking Jamie Pollard some stupid shit like that. No one should wear 22 again in any sport.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. There's no number 22 running back for Iowa anymore. There's no 22 mid. Like legitimately, I'm kind of half joking, but kind of like, why wouldn't you just say something like that? Make the biggest news. She's been the biggest athlete that has grown a sport to now where we're talking about it. Do you think 3-4 years ago I would have been talking about? Unless Iowa State had an all-time score that's probably, I don't know, like 8th all-time now, where we would have talked about it. That would have been the only thing. Otherwise, I legitimately, number 22 in Iowa, all sports should just be Caitlin. It should be retired for Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
I'm talking myself. Can we start the petition, and then when all the Iowa fans get behind it, realize it was a cyclone that started that? Oh, okay. Now we're getting to some next level trolling. This team is picking up on this, man.
That would get ripped up so fast.
Now, my question for you, for Spencer's question with the statue, how big you make this fucker? Because I don't think you only go life size.
No, you go like 10 foot tall.
Larger, because Caitlin Clark is larger than life, larger than basketball. I think you make it. How tall? You say 12?
10, 12 foot tall. Yeah, big.
I think how tall is Caitlin Clark? We got to do some quick. Oh, I have her profile right in front of me. She is 6 foot. Make it 12 feet. Double her size.
Sure, I'm cool with it.
And also alter the basketball so it makes like her hands are way bigger so it looks cooler. Or I don't know if you're a female basketball player, do you want dainty little hands or do you want the meaty ones that can palm it?
Oh, palm it all day. Yeah.
Yeah. What shot would it be? What do you think it would be? A fadeaway, a fadeaway, or here?
They got to put a giant logo out there and just put it on the logo. That's where she's pulling up from.
You ready for this? Now they're gonna have to do some math. So I don't know if they could do it right in front of Carver Hawkeye, and it depends on what angle it is. They need to put in a logo, Hawkeye logo, somewhere in the parking lot or in the road, and then have her statue next to it, shooting a transition 3 into Carver Hawkeye Arena. Like the Hawkeye Arena is the hoop.
There you go. I like it.
I fucking Jesus put me on the Iowa board of directors or whatever it would be. I'm coming up with the greatest ideas right now. How you can make, you got, like I said, 12-foot tall statue though. Make her larger than life.
At least
One. and then on the other side, because she's so big for the sport, you put a normal life-size Caitlin Clark, arms crossed, and then everyone takes photos around it. See, I fucking
Bryant, you're coming up with way too many good Hawkeye. That's why we call you Hawkeye Bryant.
yeah, not Homer Bryant, because I overly support these Cyclones. See, I
Oh,
mean,
Hawkeye Wilkes over here.
yeah. Like I said, then everyone can. This is what it would have been like if I would have been around the great times of Caitlin Clark growing women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking sorry, Hawkeye fans, but you're smartest guy in the room, giving you the best ideas as a Cyclone. So take with that what you will. Also, name the children's hospital after her. Fucking what she's done for basketball is.
Yeah, I'm sure she's brought in a few dollars for that hospital as well.
Yeah, and then you put a 18 to 24 foot statue 4 times her size on top of the hospital. So when everyone waves at the kids, they also wave at Caitlin Clark. And then we're just gonna find more places, and the statues are just gonna
bigger.
keep getting bigger. Yeah. Right outside of Williamsburg, there's Kinsey Manufacturing. I used to work there. They have a gigantic grain bin on top.
Oh,
and then they have a planter that moves with the wind and stuff.
Yeah, do they still have the tractor that's like nose down?
Yes, yeah, with the planter.
Put the statue that size right next to it. It's got to be 100 foot tall.
Hold on, fucking is it? Sorry, this is terrible audio now because I got to find the actual photo of it. Here we go. This is roughly open. Have you ever heard of the King Nebuchadnezzar?
No.
So I'm gonna share a photo here, and I think this is roughly the size that I want to make this statue here, because again, the Caitlin Clark effect. We've all heard about it. She's grown the women's game. I think roughly we need a statue this size of Caitlin Clark. You see all the tiny people walking up to the statue that's easily 250 feet tall.
Oh yeah.
We need a Queen Caitlin Clark-Knezer outside of our Carver Hawkeye Arena now.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like in the movie.
Whoa, movie reference from Trent, who doesn't watch movies?
Yeah. Kingpin.
Damn.
You know, in Kingpin at the end, when Bill Murray's character, they're having the big bowling match, and every time the camera cuts to him, like his hair is a little more messed up and a little bit bigger. And then the next time it's a little more messed up and a little bit bigger. But it's like that with Caitlin Clark statues. Every time you find a new one, it's bigger than the last. It's like, how does this keep happening?
Hold on. Last one here. I think so Trent, first off, I love that of all movies that you might have I'm sorry. Of all the movies that you might have seen, it's Kingpin. First of all, what a great.
Who hasn't seen Kingpin?
And this, I would say, I'm sorry, you threw me off so much with it. But this one here, this is from Lord of the Rings. I think we need 2 Caitlin Clark statues that are on each side of the highway. Her shooting the transition or the logo 3. We just have those on each side of I-80. What do you think?
I think that you just put them on each side of the river that goes through Iowa City.
That even makes more sense because there's water here in this. I don't know the Lord of the Rings reference on where this is, so I apologize. I know it's not the Shire, and I know it's not at Sauron's house. So I don't quite know that, but see, we put these 2 statues of Caitlin Clark on each side of the river.
On the Iowa River there, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, rename it the Iowa River, the Caitlin Clark River.
Now, the big 250-foot tall thing, I think just like for size reference, you put that Adventureland next to the space shot.
Yeah. You put a space shot next to it, so then you can ride the Caitlin Clark space shot,
Yeah.
so you can get up and make eye contact with
Yes.
her.
Yes.
Oh man, I love it. You could charge $22. You see where I'm going with it? 22 or number?
Yep. I'd pay that
And
all
then
day.
yeah, and then you get to the top. It's a mechanical eye winks at you, but you don't tell anyone about the wink. Everyone is shocked by it the first time they go up there.
You got to pay the $22 to find that out. It's a secret.
Yeah. Yeah, is she gonna wink this time? Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yep.
I don't know. Caitlin Clark effect. I think we went to back to hating now with all this.
No, I think these are all great ideas. Get the statue made now.
Yeah, write it down. Let's start a change.org petition and get back to us. None of these will happen though because 2 Cyclones came up with it.
True. Now, great. Now there won't be a statue.
I would be.
Well, we kind of messed that up.
Legitimately disappointed. Yeah, legitimately disappointed if we don't at least have a 25-foot statue on top of the hospital or the King Nebuchadnezzar-sized Caitlin Clark.
Once you find the 25-foot one, then you got to go find the 50-foot one.
I'm just saying, like in Ames, they have size that are in different outfits around town.
They're everywhere.
Just do that with Caitlin Clark. Yeah.
So I was in Ames last Saturday for the first time in, I think, 12 or 13 years. None of those were there at that time.
Oh, yeah. That's been... Fuck, that probably started around when I was in college 10 years ago.
Yeah, so like we go to Hickory Park. Oh, look, there's the sign. So we got to take a picture by it. Like we go to Mary Greeley. Yep. Oh, there's a sign right there. Oh, we're downtown. There's 5 more. Like
that is so weird. I was just literally thinking the one dressed up like a doctor, and you said Mary Greeley. That's the only one I was just thinking of right now.
The one that I saw, it's like half of him is like side and half is like human muscles.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I'm gonna have to like start doing just a scavenger hunt when I see him take a picture and collect all 30 like Pokemon.
Yeah, how is there only 30? I feel like I saw 30 of them.
I think there's. I'm not 100%. We'll have to figure that out. Do a little research there.
And I know I texted you this, but that was the first time. Like I said, I've been in Ames in like 12 or 13 years, so I had to go drive by the football stadium. That has changed. Like that's what a big boy Power 5 football stadium should look like, not what it used to be.
Not to quote Christmas Vacation, looking real nice, Clark.
She's a beaut.
She's a beaut.
Drove under the bridge. Life-changing.
Brock Purdy effect.
Life-changing stuff.
Yep. I think that's also going to be my new thing. Any athlete has some type of momentum. They have a good year. Hey, why do everyone love the Pacers this year? Tyrese Halliburton effect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean he was just good? Nope, it's the Tyrese Halliburton effect. He caused a movement.
Yep.
But I don't demand that they build statues of him because he didn't. Because he as good as Tyrese Halliburton is, he could never break the women's scoring record because he's not allowed to play women's basketball.
It's 2024, Bryant.
Oh shit! I was about to make a very probably ill-advised joke about. We could have subbed a woman into the men's game for free throws, but it would have been questionable.
Women's to the men's game, I think that's okay. But the other way,
yeah. But if they're clutch, like 100% free throw shooter, and you sub her in, I mean, I like all players on every single one of our teams, but if you had a 12th roster spot that the kid's not going to do anything, why would you not just have a clutch like 95% free throw shooter woman, and then you inbound to her every time?
Yep.
Am I innovating the sport?
Yeah,
the game?
I think you are.
The Homer Bryant effect of growing basketball. Iowa State, if we keep shooting poor and free throws on the men's side, bring in Emily Ryan. I don't give a shit. Put her in an oversized jersey. They can be on the men's team, but they have to wear the oversized. Like you remember the St. Bonaventure?
Oh yeah,
like short. Those you have to wear that jersey.
Yep.
Actually, it has to be that exact same. You're on Iowa State. It has to still be the St. Bonaventure jersey. All brown. All brown. Any more big statues that we want to compare on how big we want? You know what we didn't even get to? Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
The Mount Rushmore of Caitlin Clark's, and it's all of her best shots, different action poses.
like how tall is that statue got to be? How tall is Mount Rushmore? Google knows.
The face, or like, yeah, their faces are 180 feet, is my guess. Tall.
Well,
probably way more.
okay. Well, this is not okay. It just has its elevation. That's not how tall the mountain is. Come on.
Would you search? Did you search how tall is Mount Rushmore?
Yes, that's
You gotta put
exactly
in-
what I typed in.
You gotta type in how tall are the faces.
Okay, well, the face, George Washington's face is 60 feet tall from his
I
neck
was
to
way
the
off. I
top
said
of his head.
180.
Yeah, from the neck to the top of his head. I want to know from the base of the mountain to the top of his head, how tall is that?
This is gonna be a little mean, but I think I gotta say now that the thought went in my head. If George Washington's head from chin to forehead is 60 feet tall, Caitlin Clark's has got to be at least 75 from chin to where a normal forehead ends to where her forehead ends.
Yeah, just gotta outdo George.
That's 5 head. I'm sorry, the best women's basketball scorer. That's 5 head right there. Great. Now I'm gonna get always. I've heard this once before, Spence. I don't know where, but if we're gonna.
That's all I want to know. From the base of the mountain to the top of the head.
From the top, yeah. From the base to the top of the head, exactly. We're talking about Mount Rushmore statues.
I need to know. But no, I can.
And if you want to make it any taller, you measure from the balls.
Yep. All I can get is 60 feet from the chin, or from his neck. Well, it's 5,000. Yeah, 5,725 feet above sea level. I just wanted, is that what I asked Google? Come on.
5,000, how many? 700?
725 feet above sea level. Yeah.
Will Caitlin Clark break 5,728 points?
If she stays her extra year of eligibility, she could.
I can't wait until she gets her doctorate. I want her just to stay in college basketball forever, score 10,000 points. Grow the game. Caitlin Clark.
Might as well.
Oh, shit. Well, you got anything else, man? Or should we cut it off at a cool hour here?
Yeah, hour seems good to me.
Yeah. So, well, shit, that one went off the rails fast, but those were usually our better episodes, is when we just go off the rails here. So, we appreciate everyone joining us here, man. We'll have more Iowa State and Caitlin Clark talk, and once we get the Hawkeyes back in here, we'll bring the men's back into it, and we'll chat it up. But otherwise, we'll keep talking about our winning teams here, man.
All right, sounds good.
See ya.